My daughter uninvited me from her wedding, so I pulled the strings I'd been silently holding. My daughter told me I couldn't come to her wedding because her stepdad was footing more of the bill. So, I quietly withdrew my unseen support. They didn't even notice. Not until it was too late. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Reddit Visuals. I've always believed that real love isn't loud. It's shown in the little, steady ways. That's the principle I lived by while raising my daughter, Emily. From the day she came into this world, it was just the two of us. Her mother left not long after Emily was born, while she was still in diapers. There was no manual, no backup plan. I had to figure out fatherhood on the fly. One bottle feeding, one bandaged scrape, one off-key lullaby at a time. I was only 24 and absolutely overwhelmed. But Emily gave my life direction. She was my whole world. About 15 years later, I met Karen. Warm-hearted, down-to-earth, and gentle, she and Emily got along well. By the time Karen and I got married, Emily was 16 and had already started calling her Mom. They weren't related by blood, but the bond was there. Karen's ex-husband, Rick, was still technically around, though barely. He'd breeze in now and then with some shiny new gift or an occasional text, only to disappear just as quickly. I never tried to outshine him. I didn't need to. I was there every single day. I was constant. But things began shifting. Slowly. Quietly. After Emily turned 20, Rick began showing up more often. By then, he had a high-level job in finance and started making bold gestures. Front row seats at concerts, surprise getaways, high-end shopping sprees. That wasn't my style. I wasn't in a financial position to compete, and frankly, I didn't believe I needed to. Reliability over spectacle, that was my philosophy. So when Emily got engaged at 26, I was over the moon. I wrapped her fiancé in a big hug, offered to help with the planning, and even handed Karen a signed blank check. I told her, use this when needed. Just, don't tell Emily it's from me. I don't want it to feel like some sort of competition. She nodded, said she understood. Or so I thought. Weeks passed. I waited to be included. But there were no calls, no updates. No mention of the venue. No invitations to food tastings. Not even a word about the father-daughter dance. At first, I told myself they must just be busy. Then I saw it. An Instagram post. Emily, Rick, and her fiancé. Champagne glasses in hand. The caption read, "So grateful to the man making this dream wedding possible." That man was Rick. I stared at that post longer than I'd like to admit. Not even a passing nod to me. The man who raised her, made her lunches, held the back of her bike while she wobbled down the sidewalk. I wasn't just unmentioned. I was invisible. Not even in the photo. Still, I kept quiet. It's just a post, I told myself. Don't make this about you. Then came the real blow, or rather, what didn't come. The wedding invitation. Karen handed me the card one day in the kitchen. No envelope. No warmth. Just a plain piece of cardstock. And my name wasn't even on it. She cleared her throat, then said softly, "Emily thinks maybe it would be better if you didn't attend the ceremony." I blinked. What? She doesn't want there to be any tension, Karen said, barely meeting my eyes. She said Rick's been really involved, and she just doesn't want conflict. I didn't laugh because it was funny. I laughed because it was absurd. I looked at Karen and said, I changed her diapers. I raised her by myself for 10 years. And now, I'm somehow a problem. She just gave a little shrug, as if to say it wasn't up to her. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it really was Emily's decision. But standing there in that moment, I finally saw it for what it was. I was being written out. Replaced. Erased from the pages of the life I helped build. So I nodded. Quiet. No arguing. No yelling. Then, 2 hours later, I made a phone call. All those silent contributions I'd made, the check I handed over to Karen, the payments for the venue, the deposit for the florist, the string quartet Emily had dreamed of walking down the aisle to, the down payment on her wedding gown, all of it had gone through Karen's name. Which meant, all of it could be reversed. And that's exactly what I did. Not out of revenge, but because I realized I was funding my own exclusion. The unraveling began quickly. The bridal boutique reached out to Karen. They needed confirmation on the canceled payment. Then the venue contacted her, letting her know the deposit had been withdrawn. Next, the florist emailed about issuing a refund to the card on file. Karen started panicking. Emily. She still hadn't reached out. 3 days before the wedding, I got a message. Just one line. What did you do? I didn't reply. 2 hours later, my phone rang. It was Emily. Sobbing. Screaming. Accusing me of destroying her wedding. She said Rick was furious. Everything was falling apart. Nothing was going according to plan. I let her finish. Then, calmly, I said, "You made it clear you didn't want me to be part of your day, Emily. So I made sure I wasn't, not in presence, not on paper, not even in spirit." "You sabotaged me," she shouted. "No," I answered. "I stepped away from a role I was never invited to play. The man you chose to stand in as your father, let him cover the costs. You made your choice. And now I've made mine." She hung up. 2 weeks later, Karen moved out. She called me petty. Said I embarrassed the whole family. But deep down, I think she was more upset that the illusion had finally shattered. It's been 3 months now. Emily hasn't reached out since. From what mutual friends have told me, the wedding ended up being thrown together in a rush, a backyard setup. Rick, it turns out, refused to pay for some of the remaining costs. He said he never agreed to the extra expenses. Then, just last week, I got a letter in the mail. No return address, but the handwriting was unmistakable. It was from Emily. She apologized. Said she hadn't seen all that I'd done. She believed that when Rick started stepping in, she was finally going to have the kind of father-daughter moment she'd always dreamed about. But it wasn't until things unraveled that she saw the truth, that the ground she was standing on had always been held up by me. She didn't ask me to forgive her. She just wanted me to know that now, she understood. I haven't replied. Not because I'm angry. I'm just tired. Tired of being the unseen support behind everyone else's happiness. Tired of carrying weight without acknowledgement. Maybe one day I'll write her back. When she's ready to rebuild, not just reconnect. When love looks like effort, not expectation. For now, that letter stays tucked away in a drawer. A quiet reminder that real love doesn't always wear a ribbon or come with a spotlight. Sometimes it moves in silence. And sometimes, silence is the only thing loud enough to finally be heard.